My name is Thomas Kennedy, and I'm working as Rob's campaign manager. As a part of Rob's campaign, we find it very important to listen to the concerns of the citizens of the 12th District. A specific concern that Rob has heard time and time again from talking to conferees and everyday citizens within the district is in regard to the lack of access to broadband internet in many of the rural areas within the district. A core component of Rob's campaign is that we should listen and take ideas from experts within their fields. I went to Clarion University, where I received a bachelor's degree in computer science, and to Penn State, where I received a master's degree in systems engineering. Additionally, I have worked in the software field for over 12 years. Rob and I have discussed this lack of broadband issue in rural Pennsylvania at length, and we have agreed that as someone who has made their livelihood in technology, that I should do the video with our campaign's plan on how to attack this very important issue. Now, we do realize the irony of providing a YouTube video on the position of broadband access, and as such, we will also be releasing a transcript of this video as well to anyone that has broadband issues currently and was not able to stream the video. The FCC defines broadband access as being able to having access to internet plans that provide download speeds of a minimum of 25 megabits per second and a minimum upload speed of 3 megabits per second. 25 megabits per second basically lets you do about everything a typical constituent within the district would want to do on the internet in 2019. At that speed, you should be able to easily stream videos from sites such as Netflix or YouTube or any number of other video streaming sites. Admittedly, if you are a resolution purist, you might have some difficulty in being able to stream 4K video at this speed. But in reality, you should be able to basically access any of the sites on the web, check social media, email friends or family, play most video games on Xbox or PlayStation, or stream pretty much anything you want to, whether you are using a desktop or tablet or phone. You may end up with a little bit of difficulty if you have several people on your home network streaming videos at once, but you should be alright. You should also basically be able to do any of these things wirelessly at that speed. In 2016, several U.S. senators attempted to get the FCC to change the definition of broadband to be 1/5 of the speed currently defined. That is, they wanted the download speed to be 5 megabits per second. This was likely done so that the senators could go back to the district and say, "Look, you have broadband now." This demonstrates a complete lack of respect for the people that they were elected to represent. Their justification is that the minimum speed required to stream Netflix on a wired connection while having no other internet usage at the time. Even if you are a single individual and would typically do video streaming over a wired connection, this would be impractical. This is because with your computer or other device, when it is streaming Netflix, it is likely also downloading software or antivirus updates on the side, and it's possibly communicating with computers in multiple locations to help stream the video successfully and reliably. Additionally, this isn't the way average Americans use the internet anymore. Obviously, if you are using the internet on a tablet or on any other kind of wireless device, 5 megabits per second will not be fast enough to stream video. Additionally, as the culture has shifted, it's quite likely that more than one family member is using the internet at the same time. Finally, the definition of broadband speed is based on network speeds without congestion. That is, if you are using the internet at the same time as a lot of other people in your area, you probably aren't going to be getting that full 5 megabits per second. Thus, the current definition of broadband requiring access to download speeds of 25 megabits per second seems to be the ideal solution for now. As of 2016, according to the FCC, 34 million Americans still lacked access to broadband internet. This is about 10% of the country and obviously incorporates a great number of people within the district. According to the Center Daily Times, an issue specifically in this area is that not only do rural areas lack in being offered plans that are up to broadband speed, but that unless you are in the Harrisburg, York, Philadelphia, or Pittsburgh areas, obviously none of these are within the district, you are almost certainly not going to be getting the advertised speed from your internet service provider, such as Comcast. This is effectively a double whammy for those in the northern half of the state. This map represents the median download speeds for areas within Pennsylvania as measured by broadbandtest.us. What this shows is that during 2018, the average constituent in the district did not have broadband access. As you can see, none of the district is green. More populous areas such as State College and Williamsport are doing okay, but they still aren't great. But as you already know, the counties in the northern tier of the district are really struggling, with median speeds at or below that which was proposed even by the new standard broadband speed of 5 megabits per second. Some people might argue, does everyone really need to have access to broadband internet? We would argue that yes, all areas of the country need broadband internet access. Even if you don't watch Netflix or think you would ever enjoy streaming video, think about the children in your local area. Children, and now even adults, all throughout the country are frequently getting much of their education online. As kids, they are given homework assignments, and the internet, even sites such as YouTube, are an extremely valuable tool to help educate them. There's just so much information that it is borderline criminal that there is a lack of access in these rural areas of the district and throughout the country. I myself did most of my work on my master's degree over the internet. This allowed me to work a full-time job and go to classes at night, which is even more valuable in places that are not near an institution of learning. Even if you're never interested in going back to school online to get a degree, there are so many sites such as Coursera and Udacity where you can learn a new skill quickly and cheaply online and enhance your life in untold ways. Additionally, businesses in these areas are also going to be at a disadvantage to businesses in other areas that have access to broadband internet. Rob and I have friends that are farmers, and we also have friends that work on software that is used by small farmers. This software helps farmers to manage their farms by helping to determine optimal planting and harvesting times and locations, incorporating weather conditions into planning, and maintaining an appropriate soil state. All of this is to help maximize their yield and ultimately help the average farmer stay afloat and ideally even thrive. Small businesses have a need for broadband access as well to help process payments, improve customer relations, and help their businesses grow in general. The current state of broadband in the areas that have it is effectively that companies, again oftentimes Comcast in our area, have been given an exclusive access to a township or borough. This is effectively creating a regional monopoly. This is not what conservatives generally stand for. We generally love the free market, nor should it be what we as residents want. It makes sense that these regional monopolies have been stood up because the internet infrastructure effectively creates a natural monopoly. A natural monopoly is one that exists due to the extremely high fixed or startup costs of conducting businesses within an industry. Broadband internet causes this because it is very cost prohibitive to dig and install cable. Obviously, it makes sense that a normal business would want to maximize their profits while minimizing the investments that they make. And this is why rural areas have been so underserved so far. All of this is just to say that broadband internet is a need in the 21st century, tantamount to how electricity became a need in the early 20th century. It might seem crazy to a lot of people now, but in 1934, just 85 years ago, only 11% of U.S. farms had electricity. In 1936, Congress passed the Rural Electrification Act, which provided federal loans for installation of distribution lines to underserved areas. Additionally, this was about the time when the states started setting up their own utility commissions, which mandated providing electrical access to all. By 1942, 50% of farms had electricity, with nearly 100% of farms having electricity by 1952. This was effective because providing electricity was effectively a natural monopoly, just like the internet. And the only way to cause businesses to invest in these areas was to grant them the natural monopolies to a region and then requiring them to maintain the power generation lines throughout their given region. As such, Rob and I propose a possible solution to the problem of broadband access would be to declare broadband internet a utility and grant natural monopolies to various regions. We suggest a good model for this would be similar to how Electric Choice in Pennsylvania works today. In your area, a single company would provide the infrastructure of providing the connection, the line, the cable, between your home or business and the internet. However, you should still have your own choice of internet service provider, just like today you have the choice of which company will be your electric supplier. Similar to your electric bill, you would only receive one bill that would have separate lines, one from the company who's maintaining the lines and one from the company who is providing your internet service. This would allow us to try to make broadband internet as free of a market as is currently possible. Please understand that this is just one possible solution, and we are always looking for better ideas for this problem or on ways to improve upon the solution that we've presented. If you have any specific feedback, please send us an email or leave a comment on the video. As always, we feel your voice is important, and we are willing to listen to anyone, regardless of if they agree with us or not. Thank you.